Hello, 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 Transurfer and the Transurfing Curious. My name is Renee Garcia, guys, and this is TransurfingTV. And today on TransurfingTV, I'm going to try something a little bit different today. I'm going to take an anomalous action in the direction of a new type of lesson. So I'll tell you, it's been a little bit of time since I've read Reality Transurfing Steps 1 through 5. Now I've gone through it quite a bit in a non-linear kind of way, back and forth, when I build my courses or lessons or research things to make videos. But there are times where I open the book and I start reading through and I'm like, God damn, was this here? I never knew this. I never saw this. I don't know why I missed it. Maybe I was in snail mode when I was reading. Maybe Reality Transurfing Steps 1 through 5 is like some kind of magical manual where new information and knowledge appears each time you open it. I have no idea, but this happened to me the other day with the book. The part that I'm going to read today, The Wizard Within. I'm like, The Wizard Within? I don't even remember this. So what I'd like to do, and please comment below and tell me if you like this style of lesson after you have watched the video. What I'd like to do is read a part of this chapter, and then, since it's going to be kind of like new to me, just give you my candid sort of live rundown, or go over the lesson and see where it goes. Kind of just, spontaneous and see what happens. But I think I want to turn this into a regular thing if you guys like it. So again, comment below if you do. So today, The Wizard Within, page 280. I'm going to read until it feels natural to stop. And then I'm going to give my breakdown and see if I can somehow turn it into a lesson on the fly. Okay, so let's get started. The Wizard Within. Your heart already has everything you need to know to realize your desires. Do you remember the story about the Wizard of Oz? The clever Tin Man dreams of having a brain. The kind scarecrow longs for a heart. The brave lion strives to acquire courage, and the girl Ellie wants to go home. All the characters already have the things they desire, but if Goodwin, the wizard, tells them so, it will sound too implausible to be true, and so he creates a magic ritual instead. In reality, all that was needed was for the Tin Man, Scarecrow, and Lion to give themselves permission to have the qualities they so desired, because they already existed in their soul. For the girl Ellie, the task, I don't know why they're calling her Ellie, her name was Dorothy. The task was a little more complicated. She had to express total will in the will to have in order to return home. The magic ritual helped her to strengthen her faith, and then the wind of outer intention carried her home. As we have already said, not everything that is connected with outer intention fits into the framework of the concepts of the mind. The mind is responsible for this scenario. Pendulums also assisted in the process because freedom and individual control over outer intention would have severely undermined the pendulum's interest. The pendulum monsters only benefit from people who do not stand out in any way and are content to work for them as a cog in a wheel. The realization of individual potential is a precarious, pernicious threat to the pendulum, because an individual who is free works for their own development and prosperity. Hence, from childhood, we are instilled with conditions, standards, and rules which conveniently mold us into obedient adherence. On one hand, there is a positive need to teach the individual certain rules that will help them to get along in life, as the people who break these rules become losers and outcasts. On the other hand, social conditioning strongly suppresses a person's unique individuality, and so people generally cannot say what they really want and have no idea of their true capabilities. If you want to suppress a person's ability to master outer intention, it is enough to break the heart's connection with the mind. Throughout the history of humanity, huge efforts have been made to divorce the heart from the mind. The mind has worked constantly to perfect its language of symbols, at the same time becoming ever less practiced in the language of the heart. Pendulums of religion, like pendulums of science, have pulled the mind in different directions as far as possible from the true nature of the heart. And finally, the development of industrial and information technologies witnessed over recent centuries have dissolved the connection altogether. The influence of pendulums is particularly great at the present time because everyone is now reading books, listening to the radio, watching television, and accessing information via the internet. Humanity has absorbed a huge volume of knowledge and equally as much delusion, which holds just as steadfastly in the psyche. The separation of heart and mind is humanity's greatest loss. The idea that real success, be it in business, science, art, sport, or any other sphere, can only be achieved by a few individuals is widely accepted as the normal state of affairs. Nobody seems to question it or consider it abnormal. There is no point in you and I trying to save humanity. I simply wish to suggest that you, dear pilgrim, ask yourself the following question. Why him or her and not me? What do I have to do to become one of these chosen few? I am no Goodwin the wizard, and so cannot create magic rituals for you. I will simply answer the question directly. You already have everything you need. All you have to do is use it. You are capable of anything. It is just that no one has told you this yet. Oh my God. Okay. I am legit having to stop myself from like tearing up here because that's really powerful for me. I have to say that my life, the path that I've been on, the path, where the path originated for me, my God, I was not who I am today. Not even close. I was one of those people that, just as Vadim was saying in the book, The Scarecrow or the Tin Man, I believed that I was lacking something huge, something fundamental that would inhibit me from ever having a life that was ideal or optimal or successful or beautiful or anything good. I genuinely did believe that what I was born into, who I was, I just wasn't capable, right? I wasn't capable. And in this line of thinking, I allowed certain things into my reality that would reinforce this worldview and keep me down below. But again, it was really just me. And I know Vadim Zeland says here he's not the wizard Goodwin, but for me, he actually was, because when I read the Transurfing books, it opened my eyes to a new idea that I was just as capable of having everything good, anything good, as anyone else. There was no difference. There is no difference. I'm only restricted by my mind. That's all I'm restricted by. So, the income level that I was born into, the lack of education, the perceived lack of opportunity, all of these things, yes, there was a seed there that was planted in my younger years of life, but that seed growing into a tree was a product of me watering it and nurturing it and giving it life. Now, this isn't a tree, obviously, of the good kind. This was a tree of my faulty belief system where I accepted a good life just isn't for me. Well, today it's a little bit different, a lot different. I now understand that I have access and the ability to have the bravery, right? The courage, the strength, the intention, like Dorothy in The Wizard of Oz, to go home. Like, I can do that. I can set the vector of the flow. I can head in a new direction now. I can acquire the ability or the skill that is going to take me there. I have access to the same things that everyone has access to in this world. Nothing more, nothing less. And so do you, and so do you. So I actually do remember this lesson now that I'm recalling it. I made a post about this on Instagram a number of years ago, directly about The Wizard of Oz. And I didn't remember the detail here, but The Wizard Within really is about, first of all, not, and I know he's talking about not looking to somebody else to grant you your wish, right? Or what it is that you feel you don't have, just as the Scarecrow and the Tin Man and the Lion and Dorothy were waiting for the wizard to give them the permission. You can grant yourself the permission and start to do exactly what you feel is off limits for you starting today. Could be anything. Maybe you want to become a doctor, go back to school. Maybe you want to sell your house and, go live a vagabond lifestyle, traveling the world and, living via outer intention as a minimalist. I mean, this is kind of like a dream of mine, actually. So, but you can do all this if you choose. You don't have to accept that sort of event or desire or intention is obtainable by someone else other than you, and it's off limits to you. At the same time, if you need permission, if you're still in a place that you need permission, view this video as you have the permission, right? You sometimes, and again, I know he says that he's not the wizard, but sometimes we do need to hear, you can do it, you can have it, you can obtain it, you can do it, you can be it. All the stuff that you want, you can find a way to access it, and you will if you allow yourself, Now, obviously, getting permission or even giving yourself permission isn't simply enough. It's not the only thing. You don't just get the permission or give yourself permission to do it and then you're on the path and you're going there. Then you actually have to embody that version of reality, that version of you, live that version of reality. You have to head in that direction. You have to tune everything that you are capable of tuning to the frequency of what you feel you didn't have access to before. This is exactly what I'm doing with these videos. My God. And as I move through this time and space, doing this even more and more and more and more, I realize now, looking back on my life retrospectively, I was always headed in this direction. Now, it did take me encountering reality transurfing to really kick it off and take it to the next level. But I was always headed in this direction, just like you now. Whatever it is that you want, whatever it is you intend to have, or whatever it is you think is off limits for you, but your heart is still yearning for that thing, you can view this moment as proof that you have always been headed in that direction, because you're here right now and you're hearing this, and maybe you're feeling that thing that you want just a little bit more. And maybe after this video, you can take a bigger step in that direction. So I know that he talked a lot about, you know, all our modern stuff, really tuning out the voice of the heart. This is a huge challenge for most people. Most people don't have that voice screaming loudly and clearly. I do now, and oh my God, I never turn it down. In fact, the voice of my mind is like set to a minimal volume, just enough to where I can hear it, but the voice of my heart is definitely turned up to the highest volume. And this is something that if maybe this lesson isn't exactly resonating with you, or if you're in a position where you're like, well, yeah, that'd be nice to go after my dreams, but I'm just not in a time and place where I can do that, stop yourself. Figure out a way that you can get that voice of your heart turned up just a little bit more, and get yourself resonating with this exact knowledge. Give yourself permission to do it, and then start heading in that direction. This is, for me, I mean, it's surreal. This is surreal. I love this lesson. I hope that you found value in it. And again, let me know your thoughts on this lesson format if you liked it. And thank you so much for watching. Have a good day. Bye, guys.